Let's get to the weather now because Chris Mulcahy is here. He is looking at the effects of Erin once again and what this means for all of us.
Yeah, I actually want to talk about cheeseburgers.
Okay, I thought you might want to do that first. Priorities.
Weather is my biggest passion, but I'm letting you know cheeseburgers is a very close second. So you kind of just got my double duo. First off, I want to give a shout out because we're going to go through different cameras, but I also have some video, and we're going to go through his x.com page. Sam Walker, that's at Sam Walker OBX. A lot of great video, really giving us a nice little behind the scene of what's going on. So check this out. This is Sam Walker's page. He gave us permission to show some of the videos. This one right here, you're looking at Okokok from the Okokok Observer. That's the sound side, seeing all the flooding that was happening there. And Carlene, I'll just kind of have you scroll through some of the other videos that he has. Here's a good example. This is high tide on the sound side. That's Hatteras Village. Just wow. It's
wow.
Absolutely staggering just to see the remaining water that is currently on the shoreline. And I'm actually going to, let's pivot to weather 2 real quick because I want to show you this. This is the craziest video they showed me. Okay, so the video that you were just looking at was Eagle Pass Road at Hatteras Village. Check this one out. So we've been mentioning something called overwash. This is what overwash looks like. Just stand by. That is somebody filming right there.
Oh, my goodness.
That is all the water, the big wave, pouring over the dunes. And the reason why Highway 12 north of Hatteras Village is still underwater. That was yesterday. Erin was 300 miles away at that point. Now, the dunes can only do so much. And I was actually talking to Sam Walker this morning, and I just want to make a point here. They turned the camera around, but what you're looking at right now is a bulldozer who has been out there all morning long. That's a bulldozer, right?
The lone bulldozer.
Yeah,
okay.
Poor thing.
No, it's seriously.
A little bulldozer that could.
When it was still dark, that guy was out there just waiting for it to light up. And the reason why he's out there is because it might just look like water. There is a bunch of sand on Highway 12. Now, this does happen, but the problem that they're seeing here for some of those dunes and barriers that they put up, there are significant breaks in there as well. And I was asking more about this, and Sam, who knows the area very well, of course, he works for OBX, the news over there, but there are breaks in this chain from Hurricane Isabel. Hurricane Isabel happened in 2003. So that means that this area is used to flooding like this, but I really want to bring up a good point here, is that we're seeing roads underwater like this, some significant waves that overcame it when you had a Category 2 hurricane that was over 250 miles away. This really gives you a perspective that you do not need anymore in this day in climatology for a storm to make direct impacts. Helene, we will often forget, wasn't just a big deal for us here in the Carolinas or even parts of the Big Bend area of Florida. It also caused significant damage in Tampa Bay, and it did not make landfall there. It splashed a bunch of water in there. There was significant flooding for a similar way, but that was on the dirty side of the storm, the stronger one. But this is just one of many different examples that we're seeing kind of across the area of what Highway 12 is looking like in other locations as well. So a big shout out to Sam Walker as well. Again, you can go to his page to check out all the different video. The wind's not really a big deal with this system. The maximum winds that I've seen since midnight, 43 mile per hour gusts. If you know the ranges, a tropical storm has sustained winds at 39 to 73. That's sustained winds. So we didn't even really get the tropical storm force winds, and we're lucky. We're thanking our lucky stars for this. I've been really repetitive about this, but I really want to keep driving it home. We are so lucky. We are so lucky. Because Jane, you saw just what is left over. It's still minimal if you talk about any tropical storm damage, but you had evacuations in that caliber of a storm for something so far away. It really just proves, Jane, that the Outer Banks are in real rough shape if we ever do get a landfalling hurricane like this.
Absolutely. And that it's still early, right? So we're not even to September.
Oh, yeah.
So if this is the beginning, Wow. We got to be aware.
Yeah, and
be prepared.
And also, there is one concerning thing, is that for the best chance for North Carolina to have a hurricane is for usually those tropical waves that come off of Africa, makes its usual path, usually comes up north of the Caribbean, past the Lesser Antilles, and then it usually starts to curve back in. This was a close call. There are rip currents, high warnings up and down the coast. There are multiple tropical storm warnings, mainly just because of the flow and the higher tide and some storm surge that many of the beaches are seeing. But 105 mile per hour sustained winds, this is still nothing compared to whatever we saw. If another Hugo ever made landfall, say in North Carolina, I really don't know what would happen. So I'm going to keep on driving it home. We are so lucky, and it played out right because things were actually trending a little bit further west where it could have been a lot worse. And this was also the weaker side of the storm, but it still rotated the winds out of the north and west. So what's going to happen next for Erin is it's going to continue to push its way off towards the north and east. So it will be a little bit more parallel to New England within about 24 to 48 hours. And that's why we have the red that extends all the way up there. That's an absolute nutty chart that not oftentimes, now that you include Maine in there, that literally the entire Atlantic coast under a high threat for rip currents. This is one thing I'm really concerned about, that I feel like a lot of people are going to underestimate this, and this happens all the time, that a lot of lightning deaths that come from a storm system happen well before the storm arrives and well after. So, Jane, the point that I'm trying to make here is not about lightning, is that we saw Monday, Tuesday over 90 rescues because of rip currents. I think once the weather settles and we start to see sunshine, I'm worried that people are going to be challenging this, especially on a Saturday.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there are those daredevils that just want to find what it looks like, what it feels like, get a sense of it, and that's when they get into trouble, and you risk going up against Mother Nature like that, or in this case, Hurricane Erin like that. Has
any one of you two ever experienced or seen a rip current?
I don't think I have, and I'm from the beach pretty much.
I think I'm lucky enough too that I don't think I've.
Thank goodness. Yeah, lucky in that regard.
No, I'm the same way. I've, of course, had that current along the ocean. The next thing you know, you're not paying attention and you have no idea where your friends are.
Came from. Right. Yeah, there's a little bit of that, if that's like a little taste of it.
Yeah, and it's a staggering stat, but rip currents can move at 8 feet per second.
Ooh.
So they bring you out that fast. And I try every time I get in the water to immediately think, okay, if I'm in a rip current, what am I going to do? Because panic. People always panic, and that's what leads to fatalities, that you just have to calmly just start swimming along the shoreline. It's parallel to the shoreline. Again, I panicked when I was trying to release a water bug from my house, and it flew at me, and then I hurt my hand and knocked things over. So I don't know how I actually
instinctively
would be.
You just want to do something.
Yeah.
And then we ran that weather, I know it was an old weather IQ, and Brittany said you'd float on your back. Mm-hmm. We talked about that yesterday on WCNC Charlotte at 4. It might take you a little ways away. You might sort of feel more panicked, but at least it gives time for people to find you, rescue you.
That's
if you
true.
Continue just floating, at least you'll be able to be your own life raft for a little bit longer.
And depending on the conditions, a lot of times where you have the most fatalities, it's a beautiful day. Right. And most of the waves crash close to the shoreline, so floating is actually a good possibility. So no, all great advice. Now, there's a good chance most of you are not going to be at the beach, but I just want people to keep that in mind. But it's also one of the last couple of weekends before summer, so it's going to be one of the most busy ones. Yeah. So yeah, you're lucky, but guaranteed there's going to be a red flag out there, but then at times for a double red flag. And if you're not familiar, a red flag means dangerous conditions such as rip currents. Yellow usually mean, hey, not really a big deal, but still could have rip currents. And they'll put up the double red if their beaches are closed. And if you've ever been anywhere, most likely you've seen the double red because they clear the beaches for thunderstorms. Okay, so moving on, I just really wanted to hammer home that one point.
Yeah, that was good.
Just because, I'm just worried about that. We don't want any more fatalities as far as rip currents go, because that's our biggest cause of any weather death that we actually have on the coastal Carolinas. All right, let's talk about Erin's trajectory, its path, where it's going, where it's headed. This thing is going to be flying. Look at this. This is Friday, 2 a.m., 100 mile per hour wind. So likely, I think it's going to be either Category 1, a strong one there, or like lower end Category 2. But notice how far it makes. So by Sunday at 2 a.m., it's just below hurricane strength. So it's moving so fast, it doesn't really even have enough time to weaken. But I want to show you how far this travels in a short time frame. So it's going about 600 miles in the course of a day.
Wow.
So doing some quick math, it's about 25 miles per hour, which is very fast for a hurricane, but it actually wants to have some tea and crumpets potentially, because you're going to be right around the UK area, right around Ireland as well. I don't think it's going to actually make impact there. It's going to kind of dance around the short term, but it's just really nuts to see how fast this thing moves and how far it actually makes it, holding on to a decent strength. Likely it'll turn to what's called a post-tropical storm or a post-tropical system or cyclone. Okay, what about what's next? We'll talk tropics. There's a chance that we could have 2 more named storms by this weekend alone.
You're up to 70%. Oh, boy.
Over the next 2 to 7 days. I think that we'll have at least a tropical depression from this system. And if you look, it's actually really good news for most areas. You might not be able to see it because it's so small, but right in the middle of that red is Bermuda. So that's the one area that would have to watch. But since you have Erin that's so powerful in the way things are going, what actually happens is it's a wider effect called the Fujiwara effect. So what that actually allows is you can have storm systems that circulate around themselves. This isn't exactly that, but it's going to interact with one another, and that's going to allow for it to curve more out to sea compared to towards the United States. But this other one that you see to the far right actually has the fancy name Invest 99L. And what that's depicting is that the National Hurricane Center is already investigating this wave more than the other one. I think mainly because it has a better chance of impacting the land. So taking the same map but kind of shifting it a little bit. Invest 99L as it's called, which by the way, the Atlantic Hurricane System for the investigations goes Invest 90L, L representing Atlantic, to 99. So the next one after this would become 90L if they do decide to investigate that next one. But here's what's called the spaghetti plots over the next 5 days. It's moving due west. This is a typical tropical wave coming off of Africa, and there's still a lot of discrepancies, but this at this point brings it Tuesday east Guadalupe and the Lesser Antilles. It depends on that path that it still takes about 2 weeks for it to make it to the United States, but it's worth watching. So the next names up on the list, by the way, and I had it for the last graphic, we have Fernan, and I have not been able to actually show you the spelling of that, so most people are going to be saying Fernand. No, it's Fernan.
Is
or
it Fernan?
Fernan.
Fernan.
Yeah, like think about fair knots, but Fernan. That's how Majestic helped me remember it this morning. And then you have Gabriel, Umberto,
Yes.
Imelda, and then I hope Jerry's not anything. Jerry's after Imelda. Yeah, because there's just some names
all the beautiful Hispanic
yeah.
rooted names. And
Is
then
that yeah?
Jerry.
We
And
go
then you got
Fernan, Gabriel, Umberto, Imelda, and then over to Jerry.
Jerry.
So-
Short for Geraldo.
Yeah, and all the hurricane names, by the way, are primarily based off of English, French, and Spanish because those are the top 3 languages spoken in the Caribbean and the Atlantic. So just kind of little tropical facts there. Any other tropic questions before I further eat up your impact time on our local forecast?
No eating
Okay.
here. Feast away.
Okay.
Questions? I think so. Today, we got to get through today. Is that pretty much the gist of it?
As far as the best chance for rain, I think you have to get through tomorrow.
Through tomorrow. Okay.
Yes, you do have some chances of rain, so excellent transition. Let me get out of this tropics.
Okay.
I'll take off my tropical hat, even though the tropics, what hurricanes
look
can
at
do is
that.
devastating. But it is definitely my favorite, and I think my biggest expertise in meteorology, just because of so many different players and things that come through it, and they're phenomenal storms. They can bring everything from tornadoes, storm surge, and all the above, but I digress. Monroe, a nice mix of cloud and sunshine. It's been gorgeous. Charlotte, I squished the Charlotte cam, so those buildings look much skinnier than they actually are. Boone at 69 degrees, but we're already into the upper 70s. It's the big difference from the last few days. We had sunshine earlier. Fog wasn't a big issue. Fog likes calm winds. We didn't have it. Even though Erin was so far away, it was still enough to pick up the winds. We're about to go a little bit deeper into the meteorological woods, per se. One of the best best tools we have is called PWATS, or precipitable water. This is just simply put, is you took all the moisture in the atmosphere and you squeezed it down into one jar. This would be how much could rain in a given column. And a column would be like, hey, you take specifically over, say, the Oakdale neighborhood, just naming something randomly, or over Uptown. That would provide a chance for up to 1 to close to 2 inches of rain during that given time period. But you might be thinking, well, some areas can have up to 5 inches of rain in an hour. That's just a certain column of air, but it shows that you have constant rates that could get up to that high. Once you get closer to about 3, that's big time tropics. That's big time flooding rains. This is a little bit more typical for this time of year, but still high. But I want to show you the big drop off that we see after that, because we're actually trending in a good direction. So because those are so high, our best chance for rain are really now through the weekend, but I might even narrow that down now through tomorrow morning. And our highs today, 86. By the way, we've typically been around 85, 87, out today 86, so hovering in the same range over the last few days. The 90s are kind of a distant memory. It's still humid, so we're back into the lower 90s. But here are all of our rain chances that we have as far as this model goes, the one that I trust the most. I think you see an isolated storm this afternoon, and this is coming from the flow from Erin, actually, and as kind of a prefrontal boundary. But once you get to about 5 o'clock, they're becoming more numerous. Since that front is starting to roll in, that's going to allow for more storms west of I-77. Doesn't mean you're not going to see one here in Charlotte, but I think it spreads a little bit further east as we work our way through the evening. So there's a chance that during the Panthers preseason game, there could be some nearby storms. So if you're going to that as a Steelers fan, or if you're going as a Panthers fan, it's crazy how many Steelers fans are here, by the way, for a side note.
Lots of them.
It's insane.
Lots
Right.
of them. They're kind of everywhere, but there are lots of them here.
Yeah, you see,
Coming from a major Bills fan,
True.
that's true.
Miss Carlene.
Yeah, have you
There's a lot
watched?
of Bills here too.
Have you
Yeah.
watched Hard Knocks, by the way?
I have not watched it yet. I'm waiting for. I just want to binge it when Greg's
That's good.
available.
That's a
I'm
good
waiting.
idea.
I'm waiting. I'm being good. I'm waiting.
Okay.
He's not even a Bills. He's a Ravens fan, but you know,
Hey.
he wants to watch it too.
No,
But-
the Hard Knocks series is
Hard Knocks is
very
great.
good. Very good.
Very good.
Well
Well,
done.
Megan Bragg brought it up, and she said, "Did you watch it?" I was like, "No, I'm a Patriots fan."
Oh.
It's like, but I respect
still.
Josh Allen and the Bills.
Sure.
And also go Keon Coleman, because he was a Florida State alum. All right. Anyways, back to the radar. I love going off on tangents with you. That's how my mind works. But for our future cast, you're noticing that things start to spread out a little bit more. Here, I'm gonna actually roll this a little bit faster. Notice how things start to kind of rotate on themselves once we get into tomorrow morning. So what that is actually an upper level low that's going to kind of sit in place, and that's going to linger some light to moderate rain. Could be some slow movers. So we actually do have a low risk for a little bit of flooding over the next day and a half. So I want really tonight to tomorrow just kind of keep that in mind. I don't think it's going to be anything really super astronomical, but it is going to be kind of a hidden threat that we have lingering there as well. So tomorrow morning could be actually pretty damp overall. So just kind of keep that in mind. You can see for our excessive rainfall map that's about to load for your Thursday, and this does include tomorrow morning up until 8 a.m. The most of the area has a low risk for flooding, not so much for Friday, because I think once we get to the afternoon, things get a little bit better, and then a better chance for storms and some flooding rains up in the mountains on Saturday. So here is Friday at 9 a.m. Notice how that rain eventually is going to get out of here. We're going to see a spotty shower or two, better chance for maybe a brighter sky after that. Heading into the weekend, chance for a few showers, but things getting a little bit better. Okay, so for our 7-day forecast, 86 degrees today, lower 80s Friday, Saturday, mid to the upper 80s on Sunday and Monday. So Monday's the only day that's an average day of 88 degrees. But Tuesday and Wednesday, those lower 80s have a different flair. But why, Chris? The reason why is, and I wish I had my DJ air horn getting ready for this, is, but we are under a fall weather alert. Weather alert. Weather alert. Yeah, so this is actually the best one that you can have, because it's actually going to feel amazing during that stretch. That I'm literally talking about dew points dropping down that comfortable range. It's not going to be overly humid whatsoever, and those lower 80s are sticking around for most of next week. So rejoice, everybody, if you like that more fall-like air. Now, it's not great if you want the warmer forecast heading into your Memorial Day. I always do that. Labor Day weekend. But yeah, we're gonna have a nice little break. So the lower 80s is gonna be feeling absolutely amazing. So get outside and enjoy it. I was actually trying to load a graphic for you. I literally made one for this very opportunity, but then it wouldn't. Oh, here it goes. Finally. All right, there we end on there.
Okay.
See, I even had the megaphone and everything. Yeah, 80 to 82 next Tuesday through Friday. I think rain chances start to return. It starts to feel a little bit more humid by the end of the week. But that middle of the week stretch, I haven't decided what my pick of the week's going to be yet. But boy, is it going to be nice. A nice little break, perfect for those evening walks or doing anything outside. So enjoy it. We'll warm back up eventually, but a nice little treat, feeling more like late September.
All right.